And in this video, we're going to compare 2018 version of Shawn Rhoden to Mr. Olympia version, and 2019 also Mr. Olympia winning version of Brandon Curry. And we're going to see who is worse or who is better Mr. Olympia winner. This is going to be a short kind of video. We're not going to analyze every single pose for pose, but overall impression of these two guys. So unfortunately, this is not a battle that we saw a week ago. Because of the Mr. Olympia politics, Shawn Rhoden was banned and he wasn't there to defend his title. The overall lineup of 2019 Mr. Olympia wasn't very deep and it wasn't super high quality. Many bodybuilders were off, many didn't even bother to show up, and the winner was Brandon Curry. And his conditioning wasn't really great, it wasn't superb, like Shawn Rhoden's conditioning in 2018 was. So that's one thing that Shawn was definitely way better than Brandon, conditioning. The other thing that Shawn is way better than Brandon is legs, overall legs, quads, hamstrings, glutes, calves as well, but not only regarding size. For sure, Shawn Rhoden's quads and overall legs were much bigger than Brandon's, and they create better, more proportionate physique. But we're talking about details. Just compare the details, the conditioning in those quads, in those overall legs. The quads and the glutes of Shawn Rhoden were much better than Brandon's. But then, you take a look at their upper bodies, and again, Shawn is much more defined, the conditioning is much better. But the fullness and the size of their bodies, from behind and from the front, Brandon is way ahead. His arms are much fuller, much more complete, his back way more developed, his chest much fuller, the symmetry and overall flow of Brandon's upper body is just more superior. And another thing, he's overall more freaky in the upper body, of course, not in lower body. He's just more freaky. He looks more impressive, he looks crazy. If you take a look at his physique, you would say, wow, huge arms, huge chest, huge back, look at his V-taper. It's insane, it's freaky, look at his side chest, wow, just wow. But to win a bodybuilding show, you need to have complete physique, which means all body parts should be there. You need to have conditioning, you need to have proportions, lines, symmetry and everything. So if this was competition, if these guys competed against each other, I'm pretty sure Shawn would win. I'm pretty sure he would win the Mr. Olympia. He is more conditioned, he has an amazing set of legs compared to Brandon Curry's very small and not as conditioned legs. Shawn Rhoden's upper body may not be as dominant as Brandon's, but it is not as bad as the Brandon Curry's legs are. And if you take conditioning into consideration that Shawn Rhoden had on point, since the 90s and Dorian Yates era, nobody really brought that kind of conditioning, except maybe Phil Heath, to the Mr. Olympia stage. So Shawn Rhoden was very conditioned, and that is a huge argument for him winning the Mr. Olympia. Also, he had very good legs. On the other hand, Brandon Curry, he had horrible legs, he wasn't as conditioned, but his upper body was super dominant and freaky and symmetrical and complete and overall very developed. Me personally, I would prefer to have a poster of Brandon Curry's upper body on my wall than to have a poster of Shawn Rhoden's complete physique. So I would say Brandon Curry's physique looks a little bit more impressive and freaky, but Shawn Rhoden's physique is more complete, and based on the judging criteria as it is, I'm pretty sure Shawn Rhoden would win 9 out of 10 times. This is definitely very debatable, and you guys let me know what do you think about this in the comment section below. But I must say one thing, both of these Mr. Olympias are one of the worst Mr. Olympias ever. These guys are nowhere near the best versions of Dorian Yates, Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, Phil Heath, even Dexter Jackson. Nowhere near those guys. So one of the worst Mr. Olympias ever, both of them. But still, they are very good because they were the best in the world for those years. And that's all that matters. What do you guys think? If Shawn Rhoden competed the way he was in 2018 against Brandon Curry, who is looking like he is looking right now, who do you think would win? Tell me down below in the comment section. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe. All the best guys, bye bye.